What's up? It's Owen. I'm sitting here in New York City. I've had a beautiful weekend shooting for 4 straight days on the topic of personal development and, of course, one of my favorite topics, which is attraction. And what we're going to go into right now is something that's taken me maybe 20 years to come to, and that's how to create attraction with somebody just by being a very genuine, nice, friendly person. And the reason why I wanted to follow up with this was because last week I made this kind of cryptic video where I said that for me at this point, when I walk up to somebody and I want to create attraction, I do it pretty easily. Just say to myself, be a nice guy, be a nice, normal person. And I think that can be cryptic because what I see a lot of time is somebody who's being nice as a shell. They're not really nice. They're being nice as a shell, and they're being nice because they have an agenda, and they'll hear that and they'll think, I'm already doing that, I should do that. So I want to show you something that's at a different level, where you're a nice person, but it's really how you are. You're tapped into that. And in addition to that, you understand how to keep tension between you and somebody else because you're not undervaluing yourself or giving away your power. There's a way to be nice where you're giving away your power, and there's a way to be nice where you're owning your power, and it makes you seem 10 times more powerful and attractive. So in this video, what I'm going to do is follow up with some very, very concrete instructions. Instructions that'll be step-by-step and providing a framework for you for what it is that I'm talking about. And the end outcome after you watch this is you should be able to go out and just talk to people, have a great time, keep it simple, keep it fun. Don't be afraid of going into some kind of more advanced way of doing it. That could be great too. I'm not restricting that, but I'm just showing you a basic level foundation here that you can apply anytime you want. It's here to serve you. It's here to make your life better. So what I need you to do right now is lock in, relax. We're going to shoot back to earlier today into a really fun seminar that we did that I think is going to really open your eyes, change your life, and show you a new way of thinking about this. Let's do it. You guys are treating them the way that you'd probably treat me as a seminar leader if I were to ask you a question and you would be answering every single thing. That's the way that most people, when they like somebody, they treat somebody who they like. They're answering all the questions. The challenge is now what you're doing is you're making that person who you like your central point of orientation. Here's what you don't do, and here's what you do. What you don't do is you're completely oriented around them, analyzing their every move, and then as a strategy, not answering their questions to look too cool for school. What you do instead is you ground yourself as the hero of your own movie, kind of doing what you would want to do, whatever that is, and that way, you're just going to naturally not answer every question. If I'm here running a seminar and you guys are all coming up to me and you guys ask questions to me, I don't even have the mental bandwidth to answer all of your questions. So when you like somebody, you should like them and be respectful and whatnot and engage, but at the same time, there's no need to answer every single question. What you generally want to do is you set the tone of the vibe that you want. You set the tone of the vibe that you want. And then when somebody is bringing a vibe to you that resonates with that vibe, then you answer and you're responsive. But when they're not hitting that level within your little circle of happiness, then what you do is you don't acknowledge it because that's not feeding the energy that you want. What that does is it creates the effect that you're like an energetic island, okay? It's the energetic island effect where they're voyaging to your energetic island. What a lot of people do is they want to voyage to the other person's energetic island. They want to get, it's like it's not your party that they're being invited into. You're trying to squeeze your way into their party, and they feel that. And so what happens then, you have to remember that very much with attraction is based around the desire for approval or the desire for validation. It is massive. Have you ever had an ex or maybe a partner who you had an argument with, and then later when you had physical intimacy, it was a lot hotter because the fact that the validation was pulled away? So when you finally got the validation, there was a heightened physical sensitivity. Generally speaking, the people who you're attracted to, they're going to feel that heightened sensitivity. They're actually very aware of it. They're very, very aware of who they have approval and validation from and who they don't have approval and validation from. So a great paradigm shift, if you're learning about dating, is rather than thinking about maybe like, you know, finding your soulmate right off the bat within 2 seconds of meeting somebody, realize that a lot of intimacy, physical intimacy, is driven by a desire for approval. Very much so. And some people will try to handle that by suggesting to do something to cut the person down, but that's not my view at all. I don't think it's about cutting somebody down. I think rather it's about having your, as I kind of was alluding to as sort of a way of looking at it, your own energetic island, and you have your energy, and then what happens is that the other people around you, because they kind of like your swag, they kind of like your energy, they kind of like the vibe that you're putting out, they'll tend to want your approval. They'll tend to want to fit in with your frame. So if I'm running a seminar here and you guys like the energy that I'm giving, you will try to speak at the same kind of frequency as me. You'll try to offer the same kind of energy as me. And if you don't, it's kind of weird, frankly. And when you're speaking, you'll feel a tad nervous in order to keep the energy up in the seminar. And frankly, if you don't, that could even be weird, because now it becomes too out of touch with the temperature of the room. So what you want to do is you want to establish the temperature of the room in a cool, swaggy way that other people are like, that's really cool. Like, I like that vibe. Like, there's some vibes coming from that person. They like the vibes coming from that person. And then what happens is that they want to kind of keep up with that vibe. So I've even seen this when I've done infield trading, for example, where I'll bring up the clients to a place where all the people are wearing black. Just, you know, we go to like some hipster bar. And you'll see them, and they get there, and they're like, you know what I think the key with this city is? I'm like, what is it? Tell me. And they're like, I think in the city you got to wear black. The cool thing to do is wear black. No, the cool thing to do is wear what you think is cool. But the thing is this, because we have this natural desire to get approval, what happens is you'll look at the room, and if most people are wearing black, you want to wear black. If you watch me go out and I'm talking with a lot of people and people are really liking me, you might start to think that you need a big beard. You may legitimately start to feel that way. If you're a younger person, you may start to think that older people are more attractive. You're going to say, how can I compete with him? He's in his prime. He's 30, you know, I'm 39 right now. He's 39. How could I compete with that guy? He's 30, you know, I'm only 24. But if you're an older guy, if you're an older person and you see a younger person that's tearing it up, you're going to think, oh, I'm too old for this. I can't keep up with these young people. You're going to think as well. So understand that guys that have true swagger, guys that are truly smooth, or whatever it is, the main key with them is they have the ability to draw other people into their world. So basically what you want to do is you want to create a situation where you're creating such a nice vibe, other people want to keep up with it. Let me ask you this. Have you ever gone to a venue where other people are kind of having a fun time and you want to fit in that venue? You ever go to a hipster venue and you kind of wish that you're wearing hipster clothes and kind of do like the hipster, you know, the hipster dance and kind of fit in? Maybe it was like an urban venue. You kind of wish that you were dressed in that style and you could fit in. Maybe you went to a rocker venue and you want to fit in there. Whatever it is, whatever's the swag or the kind of vibe in that particular environment. You ever felt that way? Sure. Okay, so have you ever felt that desire for approval in that regard? You ever felt that way? So what you want to do, you have to stop being the person who's chasing after approval, and you have to be the person who is giving the approval. You're dispensing the approval. So what most people are doing is they're always trying to get into somebody else's reality. They're trying to merge into somebody else's reality. What you want to do conversely is you want to get other people wanting to come into your reality. Do you understand? They want to come in your reality. So you've got to really audit yourself here. You've got to ask yourself, what is my vibe? See, to be very attractive, it's not just about being the same toxic person and then somehow switching, using a trick to not be this toxic person. If your energy is generally toxic, you're not going to have good swag. You're not going to have a good vibe. People aren't going to be around that. You want your energy to have kind of this sort of, here's some elements that I think can be very powerful. One is a sense of humor. Why is a sense of humor so powerful? Sense of humor is medicine. Laughter is medicine. The world's a very harsh place. There's chaos, disease, destruction, tragedy, and it's all going to end in your own personal tragedy of you dying. How do we keep sane in a world that is insane? How do we do that? What is the ultimate cure to that? What is it? Laughter. Also, laughter is about breaking down barriers. Laughter is about inclusiveness. Ironically, what a lot of the culture is losing sight of, our culture is losing sight of what humor is. The whole point of joking with me that I'm a balding ginger is so that I won't feel bad that I'm a balding ginger. That's the point. It's not to trigger me. It's to make me feel welcome and part of the group, that you can tease me and that I don't need to take myself so seriously. That when you make a bunch of jokes about it, that's the cool part. That's what humor's supposed to be. It's not meant to be hurting somebody. It's meant to take someone who has an insecurity and loosen them up about it and make light of it. It's called energetic space. It's meant to create energetic space. It's meant to say, it doesn't matter that we're different because we can laugh about it because we're all part of the same humanity and we're all one. That's what teasing each other is. Teasing each other is, and busting each other's balls a bit, is a way to say we're all one. We don't need to take each other, we don't need to take things so seriously. But guys get so freaked out. They're so afraid of being offended. It's like crazy. And then negative dark forces want to stop that release so that everything's going to fester and explode. So the number one thing is humor, okay? Because even though society is going that way, you don't personally have to go that way. Cool people, great people, love humor. It's just a tiny fraction of society that doesn't like humor and that is trying to like bring that on everybody else. Anytime you go out to a cool environment, you meet cool people and the kind of person you'd want to meet, they're going to love humor. So that's the biggest thing. When I'm meeting somebody, I want to show that I can joke about myself. I tear myself to shreds, but when I do it, everybody's crying laughing. It is crazy funny. And then I tease them, and we all tease each other, and it's just this very non-judgmental, low-key, chill vibe. And then I'm kind of doing what I want, and then they start to like the energy that you're putting out, and then they're trying to get in it, and they keep wanting validation. And because validation and attraction and physical intimacy is so intertwined, they're trying to pull their way in. So when you go into a venue and you're already craving approval and viewing the venue as some kind of a threat, you're already in the wrong frame of mind. Instead, what you should be doing is laughing, joking with your friends, thinking about things that you think are interesting, things that you're passionate about, things that are upbeat, maybe even things that are like not upbeat, but just kind of cool and interesting and fascinating or whatever it is. And then you have to be on your own intent. You have to be on your own path. As you're speaking, you don't want to be reaction seeking. You want to know the difference between reaction seeking and self-amusement? Reaction seeking is you say something funny, you hope that person will like it, and then bounce that energy back at you. And then when they do, then you feel good. Self-amusement is you're just saying things that pump you up, things that you find funny, things that you are just sharing. And then that increases your mood. And because you're the high status person in that environment, who other people want approval from, when you laugh, they laugh along with you because they're laughing in order to kind of go along with the group. Okay? That's the kind of humor that's powerful. That's why some kind of comedy can lower your status because you're the dancing monkey at the front, or comedy can increase your status because you're just doing what you think is funny. Now remember, anything with self-amusement, there's authenticity and relatability. Go like this, go authenticity, relatability. At a certain point, if you're too unrelatable, what happens? Okay, it's like a little thing that is, it's like a holding on top of it, right? It's situated on top of it. If you go too unrelatable, but it's funny to you, but it's too unrelatable, what happens? It falls off. Okay, it falls off. Likewise, if it's not authentic, there's no power. Loses the vertical aspect. It's like vertical, horizontal. You don't want to do this, and you don't want to do this. So you want to be powerful, authentic, congruent, but there is a point where it's not relatable, okay? Like if I think that like my way to express my art is just to lie here snoring for 4 hours and you guys are going to stare at me, I actually would like to do that right now. I'm pretty tired. So, but you guys are like, this is cool, but that's not relatable to me. That's not fair. That's not fair. I can't roll with that. So it's within a context that it has to relate to you, but within that framework of, because you're still engaging with another human being, right? But within that framework, they want to see what is authentic to you. Once you do that, now they're chasing approval. Once somebody is in a loop of chasing your approval, what's going to happen? Well, if you suggest, if it's a light, non-judgmental environment, like it's just this kind of light vibe, non-judgmental vibe, you're talking to other people, and now they're having to kind of chase for your attention a little bit, but you're having fun with everybody. Then what happens when you suggest to go somewhere, oh, you know, we're going to do an after party, we're going to go eat, we're going to go do this other fun thing, they want to go because they're in a loop of wanting that approval. As soon as you lose that loop of them wanting approval, the line goes slack. The line goes slack. It's done. It's basically done. So you have to have that thing where they want approval, but here's the main thing. It's never about manipulating somebody. Never. That doesn't work. Manipulation doesn't work. You know what does work? Being yourself. Because they can see it. Anybody at a high level, people try to manipulate me all the time. I see it within a millisecond. I can pull texts out of people trying to manipulate me for this or that or the other thing. They're trying to slip things in, self-qualify. They'll even say things to try to diss me, but then give me the chance to show that that's not true. I'm like, what are you doing? This accomplishes literally nothing. I forget they exist. When you're talking to somebody who's attractive, who's at a higher level or higher intelligence level, they're gonna see through that within seconds. You can jokingly do it and playfully kind of get some banter going as kind of like, it's okay to kind of push away in a fun way, no different than, let's say you're doing physical intimacy, right? Have you ever teased somebody in physical intimacy, like take it away a bit? You ever done that? Give a bit and then kind of take it away? Have you ever had, have you ever maybe you've had a girl kind of like tease a bit and then kind of take it away and you're like, please, right? And it amplifies it. So a little bit of pushing away can be a cute, fun, playful amplifier, but it's not something ever meant to mess with somebody's self-esteem. It's just meant to amplify the already awesome vibe. And then, but really, the best way to do that and to kind of pull away is just to be on your path. So I always ask myself, am I on my path doing what I'm doing, or am I trying to get into their reality? And as soon as I can feel that energetically, I'm energetically reaching towards that person, I know that it's not going to go well. So what I do is, the way that I like to do it is I make little games with myself. So for example, I never want my proactivity to be at the mercy of another person's responses. So here's some how-to stuff you might want to do. As an example, you can make a little game with yourself where you say, I'm going to talk to each person in a polite, cool way from here to the other end of that room. So as you go, you talk to each person. Well, when you're doing that, now what you've done is you've made it proactive because that's what you've chosen to do. You have chosen to do that. That was your choice. I'm going to, in a polite, cool way, talk to each person as I go through the room. So now if any one person's not into it, you're just on your path. You're doing what you're doing. So now do you see that? It's called stacking proactivity. Say this with me. Stacking proactivity. So what you do is you make these kind of like little cute little missions or something like that at the start of your night, where regardless of however someone responds to you, because you always want to be respectful of their responses. Someone doesn't want to talk to you, great, see you later. Absolutely. But what you do is that if they're not feeling it, then you can quickly disengage and keep going, but it doesn't mess up your proactivity. See, I know when energy is grounded in myself and I'm doing what I want to do, and I know when my energy is reaching. And it's that reaching energy that almost every guy has. And that reaching energy is killing your results, okay? Almost every person that I see has reaching energy. Almost every person that I see. And the thing is this, if you're hoping to be attractive and you want someone to be drawn to you, then you don't want that reaching energy. Now notice that there's a lot of different levels we can handle this on. Let's look at this. One level that we can handle this on is meditation. A lot of people who have learned about dating advice from me don't like that I teach meditation because they feel it's too indirect. Why would I do meditation when you could have the perfect thing to say? But of course, I don't require the perfect thing to say to be successful. So why does meditation help? Because meditation gets you accustomed to feeling good in your own body without needing external stimulus. If you take 10 or 20 minutes a day to get good at feeling good in your own body without requiring external stimulus, how's that going to affect your social skills? I mean, come on. Let alone the fact that you're a little bit looser, so it's going to make you more verbally fluid. It's amazing. It also makes you more perceptive of how the other person's feeling, so you can be responsive to them and meet their needs. That being the case, you're getting meditation and a presence work practice or a spiritual work practice is very powerful. All that spiritual work means is that you're doing something to create an energetic body within yourself that's not affected by the outside world. Something within you that you can feel where you don't need the physical world to respond to you in a certain way. When you have that, it makes you very attractive and compelling. From there, though, you can also do it in lifestyle. So don't just meditate all day. Go make some cool friends. You want to know one of the best things in my life that helped me not to be needy? Instagram. And you want to know why that is? Because when I have a cool Instagram story, people want to be my friend. Does that sound a little bit not spiritual enough for any spiritual people in here? Why are you putting meditation and spiritual growth in the same level of help as frickin' Instagram? That doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you something. As far as feeling very present to the moment and just loving every moment of my life, meditation helped a lot. You want to know what else helped? Waking up every day with 10 or 20 people wanting to be my friend and inviting me places. And how did that happen? When you post a cool story on social media, it gives other people a window into your life that's not pushy or creepy. They get to look at it on their own time. They can see commonalities, and then they can find ways to invite you out. Instagram is a great tool for meeting people because it's very casual. It's like, you know, you can kind of just follow each other. They have a little story. You can make a little comment on it, right? A lot of people I know right now are going to EDC. You guys know EDC? So I can comment on their outfits, I can comment on what they're doing, maybe if they're acting a fool, I can make a joke about it. It's very low key. If I see that there's a read receipt, it says seen, but they didn't answer, then I don't contact them again. And if I haven't heard back from them in a bit, I may try one more time at most, but usually not at all, but maybe one more time. And if that's not going anywhere, I just unfollow them. Done. It's chill. And then they do that to me too. It's great. I do a little story. I'm doing something quirky or interesting. It makes it easy for them to reach out to me. One of my favorite things to do, I'll go to a Russian banya and they'll beat me with oak leaves. You guys ever see me do that? It's like they'll do that in like these Russian saunas. It's like a detox. If I post that, how many people do you think are going to contact me? Tons. Why is that? It's easy. Oh my, look at those oak leaves. Oh, what's that? It makes it easy. You're doing something weird or interesting to make it easy to reach out. So that being the case, something like that, which is very simple, well, now a lot of people want to be my friend. Then what I do is I make little social outings with friends of mine, guy friends. And you want to know what I do on the social outing? I'm not working on my dating. You want to know the purpose of the social outing? Can you guess? To have a good time. It's called a hobby, having hobbies. I'll go do hiking and things like that. So I can handle it on a spiritual level, but I also handle it just by having cool friends and doing things. Then I also have a larger life purpose, which prioritizes my life. Then what I do though, and this is very powerful, I think it's the most powerful of all, is I make some little mission when I go to the venue that I'm at. And when I make a cool little mission, that keeps me in a proactive state when I'm at the venue. Maybe I say I'm going to talk to each person that I see in a polite, cool way, just kind of go through it, have fun with everybody. Now I'm not needing any one individual person to give me approval. So now what I'm doing is I'm meeting 200 to 300 people a week. How many people are you guys meeting? 200 to 300 people a year? I'm meeting that a week because I'm going out meeting people, but I'm in my vibe, I'm in my sense of the world. So because I'm in my vibe and my sense of the world, they start to chase after my approval when it works. And guess what? When it doesn't work, that's cool too. I don't need everybody to like me. That's fine too. So I'm going to be fully me. And because of that, I assume that about a third of people are going to really like me, a third are going to be kind of neutral towards me, and a third are not going to like me. You have to be okay with not everybody liking you, and here's why. I don't view that as a rejection. I don't even ever view it like I'm being rejected. I view it like this. I'm making my vibe. This is my vibe. Other people should have the opportunity to get into my party and my vibe and to meet my standards. When I'm going around throwing out little comments or just kind of shaking it up socially, I don't view it that the other people in that venue are cooler than me. I view it that we're the cool kids. So I'm just throwing out little fun comments which they have a chance to either jump on board with or not. I love making little comments. Like one of my favorites, I just do little imitations. You know, if the person that I want to talk to has kind of got their arms crossed, I'll just walk by and I'll go. And then they start laughing. I'll look at them as I do it, and then I'll even look away and keep imitating. I'll start imitating them to my friends. You see that? So if you're in that pose there, like you're kind of sitting like this, I might walk up beside you and go. But then I won't make it all about you. Then I'll move to my friends and I'll go. And now you know I'm imitating you in a playful way. Why? Because playfulness shows that we're all together. It's not insulting. It's meant to break down barriers and make togetherness. But now I'm doing it with my friends. And now you're like, well, who's that guy? It's all about me and their group. So now they want to engage. Then I'll talk for a few minutes, joke around. I'm not like, where are you from? What do you do? What are you doing later tonight? Where'd you just come from? I just joke about my stuff. I talk about just things on my mind, things that I saw, jokes that I do, joke with my friends, a lot of singing. I do a lot of singing, joking, imitations, playful, stuff very light. Why do you want to do it light? You're in an environment that people are there to blow off steam. Even the smartest, most intelligent, intellectually deep people you're meeting are in that environment to blow off steam. They don't want to do that there. If you meet someone intelligent, how many intelligent things do they have to say to show you that they're smart? If someone's being playful and fun, they make one little remark that shows they're intelligent, you know they're intelligent. You don't need them to stack it to self-qualify and break the vibe. So then what you do is you do that. You make little fun comments, comment on certain things they're doing, wearing, acting, the vibe they have. You know, you comment on how the two friends are looking at each other in a very deep way, how you wish someone would look at you like that, you know, self-deprecating stuff. I do all sorts of stuff like that. So I do that, and I just go around in a circle doing that. And then over time, people then start coming up to me and want to keep engaging. Then what I do is I create little hubs and little groups. I introduce people to each other, and I just keep doing this. I do that for 3 or 4 hours a night, 4 days a week. How many people am I meeting? And I'm blowing off steam, and I'm having a great time. Now with social media, you add that into it, and now there's a lot of opportunity. So you're combining a spiritual practice of just getting out of your head and getting into your spirit and presence. You have an inner game work, which is genuinely looking at your inner game and your beliefs. You have trauma release, which is actually releasing negative energy. Then you have things like lifestyle, having real friends and real hobbies. Then you have something like a passion or a purpose that also grounds you and centers you. Then, and in my view, the most powerful out of all these, because frankly, even if I didn't have any of those, just some little fun mission at the club, even if your whole rest of your life is terrible, just that one little mission at the venue that you went to, that alone can put you into stacking proactivity. Say to me, stacking proactivity.
Stacking proactivity.
Okay? So I just want to stay in my proactive sense. So doing that, then what starts to happen is that everybody's coming up to you, you have opportunities, and you're not over-validating. But you're not removing validation in a creepy or, spiteful way either. It's something that's happening naturally. Have you ever tried it where you kind of like tooled someone a bit and they start chasing you for approval, but then after you did that, as soon as you gave them validation, they walked off? You ever see that? That's why I don't like that tactical stuff. Because what I find is you get some nerdy little guy, you give him some kind of push-away line, he uses it, so the person chases him for approval, but then he's like, oh, I like you too, and then they walk off. That used to happen to me when I would learn that way back in the day. So I realized that's not a sustainable solution. I want it to be a natural solution. And I want to be very present and fun so that I'm not running out of things to say. I'm very verbally loose. That's why I teach free association. So that there in and of itself, as far as your social life, I mean, it will help massively. I mean, that produces major results. And I think all of you on some level are probably aware that you're making it too much about the other person who you don't even know. And you're going into interactions not feeling great. And then what's happening is you're making it about them. Now, by the way, even if you're not where you need to be on your spiritual practice, inner beliefs, friend group, all that, I'm telling you, the most powerful one of all is just having a fun little mission that you do in the venue itself. So even if you're not doing well in all those other areas, start working on them, but don't say, oh, I'll start going out and meeting people after I work on that. Don't do that. I'm telling you, even when my life is really bad, if I make some fun little mission, I go out and talk to people, I can get results very, very quickly. I mean, it's astronomical how quickly the results that I can get is so crazy. So don't even worry about that either. But work on those areas and really put an emphasis on auditing yourself and asking yourself, when are you giving too much validation because you're making it about them? And when are you the hero of your own movie in your own energy? And you're going to see it again, like I said, when you don't answer every question. They've got to kind of come into your energy. And it's not tactical. It's something that you're naturally doing because you're having a good time. You don't want it just to be a tactical thing. It's something that should be authentic, something that should be very real. Quick question?
Yeah.
It's got to be loud, though.
Yeah. What's the best way to kind of combine like the tactical,
I don't.
Not at all?
I mean, you've probably seen me in videos walking up to people without even talking, and what happens? Yeah. I don't even talk. So much of it is energetic. It's that's why this is one of the biggest reasons why I'm not really sure if I want to teach a ton of dating stuff going forward, because frankly, just get your energy right and you don't even really need to talk in most cases. So I think guys, they're looking for solutions to stay the same. A lot of guys that want to study that directly, they're looking for solutions to stay the same rather than evolving. That was why I want to teach self-development, because you want to evolve to the point that you don't have to do a ton. If you guys see me on a great night out, I'm not doing a lot. The only thing that I'd be doing, like tactic, would be having a good game plan to have a cool place to go next, or having a good game plan about how to like handle it maybe if the friends got jealous that someone really likes me or something like that. Yes, stuff like that. But I'm not needing to do a lot at this point. The better that you get and the more that you transform, the less that you need to do. Somebody that has very toxic energy, they're going to need everything under the sun to hold somebody's attention there. But when you work on yourself, you don't need everything under the sun. People want to talk to you, including very attractive people. Very attractive people, they have a hard time meeting people that are low-key, non-judgmental, and don't make a big deal of it. So the more attractive the person, the less you have to do oftentimes. So, you know, people think they need to bring it A-style when they meet that attractive person. They got to be on their best behavior. I think it's almost the exact opposite. Try less. Okay. So does that give you a quick question? Yep. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So as you're doing that,
I can't hear you.
As you're being more authentic and showing yourself more
authenticity, relatability. Yes. Can't just be lame. It's authentic to be negative. Okay. Yeah. You got to make this quick, by the way.
You tend to see more people like actually wanting your validation and all that stuff.
A lot more, yeah.
How do you? Because I'm not used to that.
By the way, everything I'm doing as a teacher is to do the things that I just described so that you guys might want to come here to my event. So it's the exact same thing. But yes, keep going. Make it quick. Quick.
Yeah. How do you get used to that? Because I've never been.
What you already know the answer. I'm gonna say something to you that's gonna help you more than the answer I'd give you. You already know the answer. You're looking for me to tell you what you already know. What you already know is you need to be going out more. You need to be getting more experience. Other quick question? Yep.
So you say that when
Can't hear you.
When you go to the,
Can't hear you.
When you go to the club, you are opening almost every group. What's the most common thing you open with?
What the stuff I told you? Do you remember it?
No.
Imitations, comments about what they're doing. I'll joke near them. I'll sing songs. I start singing songs with my friends and they jump in. I don't do it how most people do. Hi, I'd like to meet you. Who do you think? Okay, so I'm not getting those harsh blowbacks. Quick one, yep.
So what you're saying, does that establish premise?
Also, you have very sad eyes and you raise your eyebrows. You have these sad little puppy eyes and you're like this. That's gonna make things hard for you. I like that smile that I saw coming there. Let it out, let it. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's the key right there. Yeah. That's gonna be more important. That's more important than the line. Yep.
All right, so you do that first, and then you establish premise later when you see everyone, when you see the girls later.
Man, my thing is this. I just have fun. Party's always going back to my place. I don't establish nothing. They can figure that out for me. Yeah.
Make it easier for yourself.
I'm not like, so now that we're like back here, you know this isn't like a friendship thing, right? Like that. I'm too cool for that. So that's not even in my paradigm. Yeah.
If you're very strongly grounded in your own energy, is it possible to fuck a borderline and not have her toxic energy?
You know, I want to take your course and find the answer to that. Yep.
Can you talk about how you transition, like when you meet the girl and like when she knows who you are and you're not like being Tyler, like when you talk more about that, like when you're not like hey, that energy, you're being yourself.
That is myself, first of all, because it's a social night out and we're there to blow off steam. So what you're asking is how do you become the low energy, lame version of yourself? And my answer to you is that I don't think that like it's really more about not becoming okay, here's the main things you don't want. Don't be in a deeper, longer term relationship, don't be self-qualifying. Don't vent to them. Don't make them your, emotional vent, and basically just like you don't need to be on all the time by any means, but just don't be acting in ways that are likely to alienate somebody who's with you because they look up to you. Yeah.
So basically, just be present, you're authentic, going have fun.
Yeah, but remember, authentic can quickly degenerate into an excuse to be a loser. Okay? Authenticity, relatability. And it's not even not caring out of rudeness. It's just about being in your momentum and your vibe. Next one. Louder, I can't hear you. If I can't hear you, nothing I can do can help you.
Is seeking a high status person's validation same as being attractive?
I think that it's okay to want to be around other people that are doing things and have a lot to offer, but you also have to love yourself and you have to be in your vibe and then just provide opportunities for those connections to happen. Next question, last one. I saw one more. Yep, okay, two more and then I got to wrap. Yep, loud.
Okay. What do you think about monogamy?
I think monogamy is amazing. I think it's amazing. I think people undercut it. If you're in a proper monogamous relationship, you don't have to use protection, which means it's going to feel the intimacy is way better. But I also think that people use monogamy as an excuse not to get better at dating and socializing. They just pick the first person they can find. Yep.
So you make it easier for yourself to relate with the people at the club by having it as not just something you do there, but you make
because
go wherever you go.
Yeah, because where I go, it's ultimately a lot of people, they want to keep being negative in their head, low energy, and so on and so forth. Justin, could you come back here to help the boot camp guys too? Okay, so they want to stay the same. What I say to myself, here's the question that I ask myself. If other attractive people like it when I'm fun and light, maybe that's a sign that it's good to be that way. And then I think to myself, maybe I should start working on that. And even if I don't change it perfectly right now, there could be a benefit to working on that. So that's like a very, very, very powerful thing. Okay, last one, and then I got to wrap it.
How do you find the balance between persistence and freedom from harm?
I think that, and it's really just about having fun, doing your thing, providing opportunities, but still having fun in your vibe. Like I'm gonna throw a lot of when I go out, I throw out all these little funny comments, ways to engage, opportunities to talk more, but I'm not stuck on it, okay? So I hope this was a good summary, and particularly, I think most guys' biggest sticking point, what do? They always make it too much about the other person. You remember that expression, self-love? That's really what it comes down to. Love yourself, and then you can love other people, okay?